You're an idiot.
No, you're not listening to me.
Yes, I am. You're saying that man is capable of pure and uninfluenced thought. But our whole lives are based on experience. The only being to ever have pure and uninfluenced thought was God.
This is not true.
Oh, that's right. All I'd have to do if I wanted to have a pure thought was forget every experience I ever had.
No, you just have to ignore them and disregard any influences they
How
have.
can you sit there and say such a thing is even possible?
Because when we're born, the only thing we're even capable of is pure thought. It's not until our minds are exposed to the corruption of reality that...
What? Reality doesn't corrupt our minds. It's what molds us into who we are.
Right. Reality molds us, limiting our ability to think freely. When we're born, the realm in which our mind is allowed to think is infinite, limitless. However, once we begin to experience reality, that realm becomes corrupted and our thoughts and ideas begin to follow a set path.
I know. The world around us dictates how we think. That's why people aren't capable of your pure and uninfluenced thought.
But you're ignoring one very important thing.
And what is that?
After we're born, during that first instant of consciousness, our minds are completely void of corruption.
You mean influences.
Influences. And thus our minds are capable of having a pure thought. Until, of course, that wretched spanking. What a marvelous way to begin a life tainted by influence. Yet, if you could capture that state of purity that exists during the first instant of consciousness and allow it to flourish in an uncontaminated environment, you would get a pure thought. Every person on earth was at one time capable of thinking like a god.
How much of this have you had?
I can prove it to you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And how's that?
I will show you a man who can have a pure thought.
You hear that? This guy says he's going to show me a man who can think like God. Please, tell me. Where would you find such a godly man?
Anywhere that's void of the corruption of reality.
Corruption of reality, of course. Okay, go ahead. I would love to meet this man. Maybe he can tell me where babies come from.
Maybe. Was the operation carried out as planned?
Yes, he's asleep now and appears to be stable.
And the girl?
She's already signed the adoption papers.
Excellent. And can I see him?
Yes, of course, right this way. There he is.
No, don't touch him.
Huh?
I don't want to disturb him. How could anyone ever want to abort such a beautiful specimen?
Excuse me?
I mean, baby. Such a beautiful baby.
It's very tragic.
When can I take him?
What's all this?
This is my own little shelter from reality.
What?
Don't you remember?
Or what?
Our conversation about pure thought.
That was like 20 years ago.
19 years, 7 months, 3 weeks, 16 days, 9 hours, and 35 minutes ago, actually.
Who's he?
Well, I told you I was going to show you a man who can have pure thought.
And that's him? What makes him so special?
I've kept him sedated since birth in order to prevent any outside influences from interfering.
Wait, you mean to tell me he's never been awake?
Yes, he's been sedated since birth.
He can't be your son.
He's adopted.
Adopted?
Yes.
Where did you find a woman willing to let her son be adopted by a guy who's going to sedate him his whole life?
An abortion clinic. And I never planned on keeping him sedated his whole life. How's he supposed to have a pure thought if he's asleep?
How did you sedate him during birth?
Through the umbilical cord?
How the hell did you convince a doctor to do that?
I told him I didn't want the child to experience the suffering from never knowing his real mother. And so he should be sedated during birth so he doesn't ever feel or touch. That fruity and subconscious crap, you know?
Yeah, whatever. Basically deprived this guy of ever living a normal life.
No. You got it all wrong. He's in perfect physical condition. I've been monitoring his nutritional intake and physical development since day one.
But what about his mind? You've completely eliminated any possibility of mental development.
Exactly.
And knowing that, you still went forward with this...
Experiment? And yes, that was the whole point. This is a scientific study of man's most complex system. And as far as him ever living a normal life, he's so healthy he'll live long enough to make up for any lost time.
So why'd you bring me here?
To watch.
Watch what?
I'm gonna wake him up.
You really are an idiot.
We're almost ready.
So, what's exactly supposed to happen here?
That's up to him. We're just here to watch. I've got sensors recording any brain activity. I'm monitoring his heart rate and body temperature. There are sound recorders and video cameras hidden throughout the room. If he so much as passes gas, it'll get recorded.
I like the color scheme.
I chose white to make him aware that he was awake without jeopardizing the experiment.
That would have been a terrible waste.
Looks like everything's working properly. This is it. We're about to witness the most pure and uninfluenced thought the human brain has ever had.
Suspense is killing me.
Here goes nothing. There it was! Did you see it? That was it! It worked! How magnificent! Did you see it?
Oh yeah, it was great. Like watching a baby come out of the womb.
Let's go say hello. I want to try to find out what he was thinking.
Wait, are you sure that's it?
Of course. I got what I wanted.
Okay. Lead the way.
You won't understand all of this right now, but you've just made history, my friend. You've had the purest thought since God decided to create the universe. Hello? Can you hear me? I wish there was some way to figure out what that blip was about.
I was just thinking the same thing.